Hello friends, Clage back to another Punishing Grey Raven video today, and I want to take a quick second to talk about what we have learned about Dante and Vergil, what was revealed with the gameplay demonstrations, as well as players getting a hold of the beta for the DMC collab over on the Chinese server. I unfortunately do not have a Chinese server account, so I'm not able to directly capture any footage or check out the characters for myself. So this is just going to be a brief overview of information that we've been given with the reveals done by the team over in China, and then what players have been able to figure out playing the beta and all that. There is a ton of beta footage out there of both the event, both characters, some of the event modes. Definitely recommend checking that out on various PGR content creator channels. A lot of you have probably already watched them. They are all over the place. So, but if you haven't, definitely recommend it if you want some more to look at going forward. But let's talk about what each character has for their kit and what we can kind of expect out of them and this collab as a whole real quick. So first up, Dante. Dante is an S-rank fire attacker with the ignition affix. So he is going to be in direct competition with Lucia Pyro Oath. I am willing to harbor a guess that neither of these characters is going to be a direct replacement for their meta counterpart on the main PGR roster. Pyro Oath has only been out for a little over a year, give or take, and the new Selena is basically brand new, one of the newest characters even in the Chinese server. So we are probably not going to be seeing the Devil May Cry characters be a direct replacement for either of them. Now, that doesn't mean they aren't going to be a viable attacker on their relative elemental teams, especially because it's going to be easier to get these characters to higher rank, which is great. I'll talk about that more in a second, but I just kind of want to go over everything that we have for Dante here. So the entire moveset from DMC 5 has been brought over basically for both characters. Like, I have seen almost every single move you would use in DMC 5 faithfully brought over and recreated in the PGR engine, and both characters look great. Their combat flows incredibly well. They both have the stuff we would want to be able to play with in this engine, the big juggles. You see the Sin Devil trigger going off right here, which is fantastic. And in addition to all of this, you know, the characters being lovingly recreated, having their full movesets, and playing like you would want them to play in this incredibly high-paced combat engine that is clearly a lot of homage to the Devil May Cry series, we also get the original voice actors for both characters. So the voice actors from the games will be reprising their roles directly, which means already that Kuro has understood the assignment for this better than the DMC Netflix collaboration. Netflix adaptation is the word I'm looking for did. So, but all that said, we have very, very awesome recreations of these characters. I think they're both going to be a blast to play. And even if they are not necessarily the strongest meta pick in their direct element, I think the elemental affixes is where these two characters will have some long-standing homes in PGR in the content that we play. There's no guarantee for that. Obviously, we're not going to know what their damage values and abilities are truly like until we get the actual collab released in its final form, and we know what the tweaks are and, you know, any changes they might have made from beta. But I would say to kind of temper your expectations and look at these characters as not necessarily a way to replace the main PGR cast that are in their specific roles, but if you missed Pyro Oath, Dante is probably going to be a great way to fill that gap until you can get Pyro Oath. Same with Vergil filling his roles. So all in all, I really, really like what I see. They've done an excellent job, not just capturing the characters' movesets and gameplay, but their personalities look great. You see Dante here being the goofy, lackadaisical moron he kind of is. You know, very, very Devil May Cry attitude. Haha, the whole pun. But in general, I think they've done a fantastic job. Like, they truly thought about how they wanted to capture these two characters in this game and what they want to do with this collab, and it's only made me more excited to see all this. So that's a look at Dante already. Let's go take a quick break here and let's look at what Vergil has on offer. All right, so now moving on to Vergil. So Vergil is going to be an S-rank physical attacker with the Ultima / affix. So very similar to Dante, he is an attacker in a role that has recently had a brand new attacker come into it. So again, I would not expect Vergil to be able to outpace the new physical attacker Selena that just released in the Chinese version a couple patches ago. But more than likely, I think he's probably going to slot in quite well on the Ultima Slash team. And again, if you happen to be just saving for the collab, you're just going to pour every last resource you can possibly pour into it to max out these characters, then Vergil is probably going to be a decent stopgap if you do not have the new physical attacker Selena that'll be out, not this next patch, but the patch after Ishmael's patch in the Global Sync version. So Vergil also has his moveset lovingly recreated. We've seen all of it. The Yamato looks great. The Force Edge is a wonderful little thing going on. They've already shown the scene of him juggling an enemy while twirling a single Force Edge on his finger as a taunt. Looks great. He has his Sin Devil trigger as well, and all of his moveset seems to have been just as carefully recreated as Dante was. So, I mean, what more could you ask for, honestly? Like, I really, really think Kuro has gone all out, and they are really, really putting some real thought and care into how they are bringing these two very iconic characters to a game that is, simply put, nowhere near as well known across the world as Devil May Cry is. Like, this is such a huge boon for PGR, and it's going to be such a put it on the map kind of moment for the game. So, and that makes me very happy. And again, Vergil feels like his personality has been brought over very well. Having Daniel Southland voicing him again is going to be a massive bonus. It's not Vergil without his voice, man. It's just not the same character. And you can tell both these actors were very excited to reprise these roles for this little collaboration, which is fantastic. So in addition to what we've seen revealed for both characters, what's been shown off in the beta so far in the Chinese server, we also know the amount of copies we're going to be getting and the gacha setup for both these characters. So Dante will have one free copy that you will get by going through the event chapters, the event story. I believe they said chapter 6 is where the free copy of Dante will be given to you once you complete that chapter. So really cool to get that there. And then both characters will be available in the gacha. It's going to be a collab gacha, so it's a one-time thing, no roles carry over, anything like that. But the nice thing is the gacha for both Dante and Vergil is going to cost 175 black cards or orange cards or collab cards, whatever we have available, but 175 cards per roll instead of the usual 250. In addition to this, when you roll a copy of either Dante or Vergil, you will immediately get another copy for free. And this happens the first 2 times you roll each character. So when you pull your first Dante, you've actually pulled 2 Dantes. And when you pull your second Dante, you've pulled 4 Dantes total. After the second time you roll one of the characters, they don't give you an extra free copy anymore. But with the lower gacha cost and what is effectively 3 free copies, or excuse me, 5 free copies combined between the characters. So Dante's basic free one for doing the event. And then if you roll 2 copies, you get 2 free copies. And if you roll 2 copies of Vergil, you get 2 more free copies. So 5 free copies sitting out there for both characters. And then at a much cheaper gacha rate, if you want a triple S plus both these characters, that's not going to be unfeasible. Especially if you have been saving, hoarding, and are focusing solely on this collaboration, like I know a lot of you newer players are. So if that's what you're hoping to accomplish, if you want to get your first triple S character or even your first triple S plus character, these two are going to be a very good way to do that. And my guess is that at triple S plus, these characters will be at least in the ballpark with their respective roles. So Dante will probably at least kind of sort of be able to work in the same level that Pyro Oath does at triple S plus. And Vergil being able to work at the kind of the same level the new Selena does at Triple S Plus. Now, again, we won't know for sure until we get our hands on the final product and see how they've tweaked the damage, what they want these characters to do. Kuro is going to decide, what they want these characters to hold or not hold in terms of a place on meta teams. And again, I would not get your hopes up that these are just going to be absolute one-to-one or even better replacements for their respective characters. I don't see Kuro negating two characters that have come out less than a year ago, and one of them is barely 3 months old. So don't expect either of these characters to absolutely just steal the show and totally take over as meta teams. But I believe, again, that both of them are going to do very well in their respective elemental affix teams. So I think Dante is going to probably be a key part of the Ignition team for quite some time going forward, and Vergil will likely be a very strong option for the Ultima Slash team going forward. So that's pretty much what we have learned, at least on the initial part. Again, I'm kind of limited in what I can share because I don't have a Chinese server account, so I just don't have any way to really show off that aspect, but plenty of talented content creators have already done that. I definitely just recommend checking out beta gameplay all over the various channels. People have learned quite a bit about the characters, and they can share more in-depth detail than I can at the moment, so definitely encourage you to go check those out. But just wanted to get something out. Again, I do apologize if you didn't see the community post. I nearly had a hard drive failure over the weekend, so I had to do some emergency work to get my hard drive cloned and replaced. So that's why there hasn't been much in the way of videos for a hot minute here, but that seems to have been taken care of, and mostly without incident, so didn't lose anything of value. Thank you, lucky stars. Anyway, so should be back on a more regular schedule here. We are winding down the current patch. I should be getting my test server access here very soon. As soon as I have that, I will be showing off some stuff for the test server for you all, so stay tuned for that. But that's all I got for now. I'd ask if you were all excited for DMC, but I mean, of course you are. Like, why would you not be excited for this collab? This is the reason a whole lot of people, especially people who might watch this channel now, picked up this game. So let the hype build. It grows ever closer, and I can't wait to learn more about these characters and get to try them out for myself and see what I can do with them. So until then, as always, if you want to do the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, go for it. Always appreciated, never required. But that's all I got for now. So I will see you in the next one. Y'all take care, and peace for now.